Hello everyone. I've made some significant changes to Unreal Mapbox Bridge, added some features, and made it a few changes of how you use it. So I'm going to make a new series of videos on how to set it up and the different features. Let me just minimize this real quick. Okay. So first of all, what is Unreal Mapbox Bridge? Well, in its simplest form, you can select a location on the map of the world anywhere in the world, and create a 16-bit heightmap image. You can use this heightmap image for importing into Unreal to create a landscape. That's kind of the primary use of it. That's why I designed it. But you could use that 16-bit heightmap image in other programs such as Houdini and any other program that takes maybe World Creator or stuff like that that takes a 16-bit heightmap image. So first of all, let's just see what you get. Right now, I'm going to choose my default location when I go to this website, train.justgeektext.com, is Mount Rainier, but you can go anywhere you want, and I'll show you how to use the map and everything at a later date. Also, please make sure to look at this help page when you're trying to learn how to use it. It has a lot of good information on it. Just kind of read through it. It'll basically tell you how to use the map, how to get the 16-bit height maps. But again, I'll be going over more of that in detail in future videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose this location. I left click just to choose a location I want. Okay, and then I need to double left click and it'll load that particular area that I've selected. So I double left clicked. Now you'll see that I load the preview image and get all sorts of height information from it. You're going to need to double left click before you try to download the height map. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my landscape size. These are Unreal landscape sizes to 2017 by 2017, and I'm going to download the height map. Note, we also have the send to Unreal. That does the exact same thing as this download height map, but it automatically loads up it automatically imports the height map into Unreal for you, so you don't have to do it manually. You will need a companion plugin called Unreal Mapbox Bridge plugin in order to use Send to Unreal, but it's not necessary. You can always do the same thing just by downloading the height map manually. And so I'm going to go through that now. All right, so again, I've set my landscape size. I double clicked on the area that I wanted, and I'm going to hit download the height map. Okay, and I have a folder location that I set to download the height map, and I'll show you all those settings later again. And you can see right here, this is the height map that I've downloaded. It looks, here's Mount Rainier here, and there's the rest of the landscape. So how do we get this into Unreal? We simply open up Unreal. I've got a default project. Let me delete the existing landscape. You don't need this Mapbox BP plugin if you're going to import landscapes manually like I'm showing you now. Go to Landscape, you go to Manage New, and you want to choose Import from File. Okay, and then click on uh, Height Map File. Okay, navigate to your download file folder, choose the file you want, choose Open, and then it'll set all the information up correctly, the quads, the sections, and you can see that it automatically detected from the file size that it's 2017 by 2017. And go ahead and choose Import, and let that process. All right, I'm going to choose Selection and just go up a little bit here, and we'll see that there we go. We've got Mount Rainier in here, and we've got all the features from our height map. One of the things you may have to do, and it just really depends on the height map, that you import the selection area you choose on the map, the resolution that Mapbox provides. Mapbox is the one that's providing these images for us. You may have to change the Z-scale of the landscape. To do that, click on Landscape, and you go to Z-scale, and you might have to increase or decrease this. Sometimes, when on some areas of the maps, this this whole thing will be super huge, big, real tall, and you might have to decrease it. Other times it might be too small. So in that case, if it doesn't look right, you can simply adjust this. Let's see if I wanted this a little bit smaller. I can go like that. Okay. And you can see I've changed that. So let me demonstrate the other way to get, that was the manual way. Let me demonstrate the other way to get a map into this, into Unreal. And that would be more of an, it's just simply automation using the Unreal Mapbox Bridge. And let's delete that. Okay, so I've got the Unreal Mapbox Bridge plugin added here. I will go over the setup of how to set this up, how to install it later, but I've got this here. You need this installed and in your scene in order to use the automation part. The automation part, I'm just going to clear these images out, is the Send to Unreal button. Again, it does the same thing as downloading the height map. It'll still download the height map files, and you'll see all the same information in your directory here. It just does a little automation to automatically import it. So let me just get back to where I was. I'm going to pick a different area. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, the Z-scale. All right, now you see I just single left clicked right now. It doesn't have the preview image information or any information in it. I won't be able to download it. Okay, you have to actually double click on the area you want to load the tile information up. The reason I changed it to double click from what it was before this update, you could click on an area, it would automatically load this information. The reason I changed it to double click is because we now have an option, instead of selecting a single tile, we can select multiple tiles, which is called tile stitching. And I can do this to select multiple tiles instead of just that one single tile. And I didn't want it to automatically start downloading that information as soon as you click off of it, because once you get the area selected, maybe you don't want it. I didn't want it to automatically start the download process, because you could be downloading with tile stitching, you could be downloading multiple tiles. I mean, 5 tiles, 10 tiles, 100 tiles to stitch them together. So I wanted to make sure when you're ready to do it, you double click on it and it'll start the process. I'll go over tile stitching again in another video. Right now we're doing single tile select. Again, get back to where I wanted to be, and I'm going to select this area. Let's just go over here. Maybe this area. This area's. Let's just choose this area again. Left click and then double click. Now that I know I want this area, we're good to go. And I'm going to set my landscape size again to 2017 by 2017. And this time I'm just going to click on Send to Unreal, and we'll see what happens there. Again, it's downloading the files. And we can see that, and the fact that it downloaded the files we needed. But now if we go back to Unreal, we can see that it automatically imported it into Unreal. Now this is a good example of the Z-scale. Now to me, this looks, maybe it just looks too big. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look usable. So in this case, and I would probably drop the Z-scale down to make it something, to me, it's more realistic. Okay, so that's why you have that option. I will say, somebody else mentioned about the Z-scale. I do have it listed up here. You can see that you've got the X, Y, and Z scales. This is what, according to Unreal, is what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to set the Z-scale to 452, but obviously that's not going to look right. So either I'm doing something wrong with my calculations, which I don't know. I mean, as far as I can tell, I followed their instructions and I'm calculating everything correctly. So I don't rely on this calculation, even though, as far as I can tell, it's correct. I don't use it. And if you guys can tell me what I'm doing wrong, that's great. Fine, but if I put 452 in here, it's obviously not going to look correct. So again, maybe I'm doing something wrong with my calculations, and if you guys know, please let me know, and I'll be happy to change the calculations so that we can use this. And once this is correct, if we have it correct, I can automatically set that for you, so you don't have to worry about that. That part's easy. The hard part is I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this calculation. Again, if you search for Unreal Landscape Technical Guide, there is a section in there that says how do you calculate Z-scale. I am using that formula. That formula is based on the height, max height of the area you're selected, which you get here. And as far as I know, everything is calculating correctly. Enough about that. Okay, so you get the idea of what a mill Mapbox Bridge is and what it can do for you. You select an area on the map wherever you want, and you can download a height map, a 16-bit height map image of that. Okay, so that is the basic demo of what it is. How do you move around the map? I'm going to again refresh. If you left click, you select a tile area. If you left click and hold, you can drag around. Okay. If you want to zoom out, you use your mouse scroll wheel to zoom out, and then left click and hold to drag around. Right click, you can tilt the map, but I don't really use that because I don't really need it, but you can use it if you want. And then the farther out you are, the larger the tile areas you can select. Basically, the larger image you can select. So if I zoom out, I can get bigger areas. Zoom in, smaller areas. And this is just how pretty much any web map works. They work off of what is called tiles. And it's basically a tile at a zoom level. You can see zoom level 9 here. If I zoom out, you can see the zoom level changing. So, so each one of these is a particular tile at a zoom level. That's why we can't kind of choose, maybe if I wanted this middle area here, I can't choose that because the actual map served to us, this middle section here is not a tile. It's either this tile or this tile at this zoom level. If I want something finer, I can zoom in and get that tile or that tile at the zoom level, but I can't choose this area here as one tile because the way they serve it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles if I were to try to grab this little square area. That's where this freeform stitching comes into place, is where I can choose this area, and then what I do is I download those 4 tiles and stitch them together. Okay, let's see. That is the basics for demo of what it is. The next one I'm going to go over the settings, and that would be what you need to do and everything to do to set this up when you first start the application. Thank you.